So I'm in a Leket greenhouse in Binyamina, Israel, and boy, is it hot in here. So there are several greenhouses on this Leket farm, and it's the only farm that Leket owns. And it's a gift from a Christian organization in Singapore. So God is blessing the work of Leket. God is blessing the land here in Israel that for centuries was desert. Nobody lived here. And it's blooming once again, just as the prophets said that it would. And God wants His people, the church, involved in what He's doing with His people, Israel.
Pretty much okay if bills weren't that high. So I found myself a year after you're struggling even more. I had to find furniture. I had to look for where could I get a computer, where could I get a stove, where could I get a table, and everything was like a wheel turning. A situation going after a situation. You get a mission done today, maybe a few days you get another mission done. So ever since then, every other week I'm getting a big basket of vegetables and fresh eggs and a bit of meat. I'm vegetarian, so it's my son, he's vegan. My daughter-in-law, which eats meat, so it's with her. And I get several dairy products. And besides that, the nice thing is that I feel supported because every other week, thank you. Besides the fact that every other week I get a basket, and I also get a certain kind of security and support.
Already giving us fruits after 3 months. What we're picking, everything that is even remotely red is good. Even this, this will turn red. Yes, this will turn red. Okay?
So we're at the Leket Israel farm in Binyamina, and we've been gleaning some fresh Holy Land tomatoes. So there are several greenhouses here on this farm, and believe it or not, it's the only thing that Leket Israel owns. And it's actually through the support of a Christian group in Singapore. And we are blessed. God is blessing the land of Israel. Once again, it was desert for centuries. But now, as the Jewish people have returned, the land is blooming once again. Christians are involved in what God is doing with His people here in Israel. And it's exciting to be a part of it, and we'd like to invite you to be a part as well in providing food and nourishment for the needy of Israel. God bless you. To South Tel Aviv as part of Leket Live, where we're experiencing an intense, really just being saturated with the Leket experience, from the farm and produce to the nonprofits that receive food that Leket rescues. And then we're heading east toward the Judean hills. We're going to experience Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, and it's going to be a great day. So we're glad to have you come along with us.
ready for it. So here's Andre. Andre is an academician. He has years and years of experience in dealing with addictions and all kinds of problems, and he's operated a house that had 100 people, homeless shelter. They work differently. They can sleep there, but they have to get out. Here is their home. They can spend all day here. And then food, which we pick up. We go to corporate kitchens that Leket opens for us, and under very strict supervision of Leket for food safety and rules and regulations, which are stricter than the health department. We bring food here, so there's a big trend now in trying to rescue as much food, and besides all the Leket produce which we get about 150 tons a year of produce, 50 tons of baked food products and breads, and another 50 tons of prepared foods. So we do an average of 1,000 meals a day, or 1,500 meals a day, according to Leket, who keeps track of what we do. We report to Leket on every move we make, every pickup we make, it's really a partnership that has to be, because what Leket does is receives, and they need small operators like us, about 200 of us, some bigger, some smaller, to distribute. So we're in this area, we have 8 homes like this, halfway houses. We have 2 battered women shelters. We have an emergency apartment for drug-addicted women who are prostitutes and they're working the streets and they have a place. We have 500 children of the refugees in small babysitting services, like 50 children in a room like this, and they never have food, and some died from lack of nutrition. Actually, the death certificate is malnutrition of refugee children. That's when we stepped in and started bringing a lot of health food to these places. If they have it, sometimes they don't have it. They certainly don't have food to send with the kid to school, to the kindergarten. And when they do send something, it's food that the kids sometimes throw up. It came from very bad conditions at home. It's a piece of bread with something, And when we started having information, the news that kids were dying 5-6 years ago, there were like 8 deaths of malnutrition. I said, how could that happen? Now backyard malnutrition. And that's when we started going very strong. So a big part of the population we serve, I'd say a full third, is children. Then come the elderly, and then all the other shelters in between. But don't let it get you depressed, because it's one of the best. Even though it's
the best
one
of the worst.
It's one of the best. Where the teacher also gives them a little bit of education. She's a very religious woman. Her husband's a priest in the church. They've been 20 years. They have citizenship, very rare between Nigerians. And certain kids cannot pay, so she takes them in anyway. Sometimes in one of the kindergartens, a guy comes in and he says, I have a cast, I have to go to the hospital, take it off. Could you watch my kid? And he never came back. Things like that happen. And the guy leaves the wife and runs back to Africa or something, and the wife's like single mothers, a lot of single mothers, So we bring here every day, sometimes twice a day, prepared food and produce and vegetables, and then everything else, diapers, cleaning material, clothing, baby clothing. That's, people know that we're in touch, so they dump clothing, so children's clothes and all that.
How many meals is that good on?
We do here, we bring in 50 meals, and there's another one right there, 50 meals, and another one 50 meals. So we do altogether 1,000 meals a day between adults and other shelters and children. 1,000 meals a day. Counted, supervised by Leket, monitored by Leket. They keep track, in fact. They tell us, you did 900 meals today, because they do our oversight and bookkeeping. Yeah, we report it, we pick up, we say we picked up, we send a picture, we send the thing, and there's someone at Leket who puts it all together and tells us what we get, a report card. So, I'd like to we'll get.
Hi. How are ya? Hi.
Big brother.
Next time.
My name is Constance Meduka, but the short, people call me Connie, you understand? 55
And
children.
what does Leket mean to you?
Really, Leket has been a blessing. Leket has been a blessing to us because it has really gone far to help us in so many ways, in the area of feeding, renovation, and etc. Yeah.
Good. Thank you for your prayers.
Okay, so we are really blessed by the Leket group.
Every year, and I really hope you'll enjoy
300,000
wonderful
meals
lunch.
per year.
It's nice to see familiar faces that was here also last year, so I hope to see all of you also next year. It became like a, like a basic everyday thing that they know every day at around 6-7 o'clock in the afternoon. The driver with the special car comes, they help him to collect all the things, they put in a special boxes, and from there it go out. They know the meaning of the things that we do, because we also talk about it every special lunch that we do to the workers, so that they know about it, they appreciate it also, and they feel part of it also, because they are the ones that involving with this all day. So it's good to have you here. I hope you enjoy the lunch and the table.
From the local Canaanite women, right, who at that time would have cooked in their own pots and brought the food to the camps and then taken those pots away, right? It's an inscription that is based on this passage, and it has to do with food. And there's going to be a funny piece of irony here. I see a gold lampstand with a bowl at the top and 7 lamps on it, with 7 channels to the lamps. And also, there are 2 olive trees by it, one on the right